Hey guys, can you hear me? This is in green, so I don't know if you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear me. Put a Y in the chat if you can hear me. This is a different color I'm seeing on here. Hey, fried chicken. Hey, Ryan. Holla, holla, holla. Calvin was the first one into the chat. That's what's up. Hey, Tanya, how you doing, sweetie? My throat. Happy Friday, sis. Hey, Calvin. I haven't been getting your live notifications, and I have it all on. I appreciate Zaddy you coming over to the live, even though you're not getting your notifications. I really appreciate that. I always recommend that if you're not getting the notifications to just come over to the chat like you did. So I appreciate you. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Happy Friday. We probably will do another live a little bit later. I still haven't done my 7 to 10 live. Last night I was supposed to do that. I just went to sleep. I've been going to sleep so early. I must be sleeping like 12 hours. It's insane how long I've been, sleeping these days, but sometimes you just need it. Last night, actually, I went to sleep early, but then I woke up early around 11:30 last night, and I stayed up half the morning. And when it was like maybe 3, I went to sleep, and I stayed asleep until 6:30. So anyways, today, early this morning, Shamar went live. He's allegedly saying that his friend Ace is in jail. Ace is in jail because I guess of an altercation with his partner, and he's not able to make bail for whatever reason. And I guess Shamar has his car. I'm assuming that's the car he's driving. And the first live he did, where the question was mentioned about apartment hunting, he said that he's still looking. I guess he's not just trying to pick anything, but it kind of sort of made me like kind of discouraged for him because he's not understanding the kind of housing that he needs. He cannot afford to be having any delays because he's going to be on a waiting list, the kind of housing he needs. He's not going to be getting any kind of market rent housing. They're going to look at his income. They're going to see that he does not meet the requirements of 3 times the amount of the rent, and they're going to deny him. He's got to be on the subsidy, low income, disability or senior type housing where they go by what you make monthly. And then you pay, I think, 30 or 40% of your monthly income to your rent. And he's not understanding. He's not looking for a market rent apartment. He's looking for a subsidized. That means it goes by your monthly income. And it just gagged me that he is still looking. And the first week of September is when his lease is up. And I think that the reason why he's so confused is because he's in the bushes a lot. And we can all agree to disagree. So, there's people telling them that they just can't put him out when the lease expires and, all kind of different, opinions. That's all we're really giving is opinions. Because if you don't know the laws, housing laws of that state, we're just guessing. I thought he already had an apartment. Nope, he doesn't. He said this early this morning. He was up early this morning. He went to a park. I'll be putting out that commentary later on today, or after this video, I'll edit that, but I'll put it out. But he was driving his friend's car who got locked up, and the first live that he did, I don't know what happened to it, but he took it down because I think that he had like some internet issues, and that's when somebody had asked him about his apartment hunting, and he said he was still looking. So pretty much he's not found an apartment yet. Hello, LaToy, how you doing? Toy, how you doing? Ilana, how are you, sweetie? Right, he just doesn't get it. He gets mad when we tell him that in time. But you know, he doesn't get it. And just like yesterday, people put that, put the stuff up of, him threatening to sue people that are helping him, like myself and, a few others. Coco's trying to help him as well. And, he gets on here talking all crazy. And then you got people feeding into it, content creators. Oh, he's gonna sue SL Davis, just to get a couple of coins off that foolishness. And it's nothing but foolishness. It's nothing but foolishness. And it is what it is, and the people that are relaying the message pretty much about his situation, oh, SL Davis, he's threatening to sue SL Davis. They're like, they could care less. They just want the commentary from it. They're not trying to help him. They can't even help themselves. You know what I'm saying? The people, the messengers that are delivering the message thinking it's cute, to put that crap up when people know that I've been trying to help that boy. I tried to help him yesterday when we talked on the phone, and I asked him to do a couple of things to help himself, and to get back at me, and he never even did it. So you can lead a horse to water and you can't make him drink. When Shamar's ready for the help, he'll get it, but it's not looking good for him. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people when that time comes. If he does not have an apartment, they're going to they're going to give him a hard time with trying to help him, because he should have been listening to what people were saying to him from the beginning. He has to have a job with check stubs, right? He needs verification income. Exactly. And if he doesn't have that, he doesn't qualify for market rent. Therefore, he needs to be on some type of subsidy housing list. When I say subsidy housing list, there's different names for it. But at the end of the day, the kind of housing he needs, in a nutshell, is housing where it takes a percentage of what you get a month. And that's how they come up with what your rent is. So in the state of Atlanta, Georgia, if it's 30 or 40%, that's what they'll take off the top of his check. And that will make up what the amount of his rent will be monthly. And as his check increases for the cost of living each year, so will his rent. It'll go up because of the cost of living that Social Security gives everyone, which I think is like 3%. And they'll go up on the rent, but it will go by his income. So, he's, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Hey, Natanya, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I hope you're doing well. Make sure y'all hit that like button. What's good, Natanya? How are you? Yeah, so it's just, hey, Ryan. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I just was kind of shocked this morning when he said he was still looking. Basically, he was saying it like he's not just trying to pick anything, not knowing he really, in situations, unfortunately, when people don't have that luxury of being picky, they have to go by the state laws and what the state laws have, in store for them as far as where they can move. And it's very limited. One, because it's a long waiting list. He must be only looking at market rent apartments. And, I've had people say, then I'm cool with, oh, well, he does have people he has said that are helping him look for an apartment. But are they understanding that they're not looking for market rent for him? They have to be looking for lists that he can get on that are subsidy housing. And there's no way you're going to make me think that people that are saying that they're helping him look for an apartment, that they understand wholeheartedly that they need. What are you looking for is what I'm saying. Are you looking for subsidy housing lists that he can get on? But if you're looking for an apartment, then you must be looking for a market rent apartment, and he doesn't qualify for that. So it's almost like I feel like sometimes people want to see him homeless. So, like I said, in a couple more weeks, just like when he got sued to $20,000, everybody was like, how does he feel about knowing he owes, that booking agent, $20,000? He lost the case for not going into court. And then he's all playing around on the internet, and we're seeing him at the bathhouse and doing X, Y, and Z at the club, dancing and, gyrating. And then like a week and a half later, he flips out. Like you just got wind that you just owe $20,000 to a booking agent that won a lawsuit. I just don't get it. Another blogger has said in their video that it is as easy as signing another lease. They don't understand that the lease office doesn't want to renew the lease. Right, Zaddy. And sometimes bloggers will say stuff like that too, because like I've been really like pushing the concern of him trying to get a place before he's in the street and before that lease is expired. And sometimes when people low-key want to be right and they don't respect your commentary or your channel or what you're trying to do, they don't have to know you. They can try to push another narrative too. And it's totally false. And then you get somebody like Shamar in the bushes listening to this false information from some of these blogs that don't have an idea of what they're talking about. And Shamar goes, listening to those bloggers, low key, little do they know. And then he ends up in the street because he didn't take the time out to be filling out these applications for subsidy housing. He's not going to qualify for market rent housing, period. I'm doing good, Toy, and yourself. God is good. He woke me up to see another day. You tried to tell him he don't listen. Exactly. That's good, Latoy. It says, how much was his rent at the place he's at now? I have no idea, Calvin. I really don't. There's a lot of things that are thrown out there from Shamar and people that was in his circle that are no longer friends with Shamar, and you just don't know sometimes what to believe. So, I don't know. I don't want to tell you something and it's not what it is. I definitely am not going to guess, because that's just as bad as lying. You know what I'm saying? Shamar, letting too many people move in his apartment. Yeah. Well, he's about to move out of that. I think that if he was able to renew the lease, and hopefully they change their mind, when they see his circumstances are not what it appears to be, maybe the rent office will have change of heart, and say, listen, we'll renew the lease. Hopefully it's a better year. No cops are called to the resident, and there's peace and tranquility over here. Let's give him another chance. We don't want to see him in the street. He's not really a threat. It's just the people, places, and things that he has in his life that is messing it up for him as far as us keeping him over here. Hopefully they think of it like that and give him another chance. But if that is not the case, it's just the harsh reality is that he needs to be on these waiting lists. And even if he is on these waiting lists, then it's still not his fault, because the waiting lists are long and he has no control over that. Only thing he did have control over is if he had control over living where he was living at respectfully, and cops weren't being called and people weren't running up in his spot doing home invasions, and like LaShawn and just all these Q and all these other people disrespecting his spot, Kay with her mess. It was just a lot of drama going on over there at that apartment. And I'm quite sure they're looking at all of that. And this is why he's in this situation right now. So, it is a lot of his fault, because people, place, the things that he has allowed into his life is why they don't want to deal with him. And they probably, the people that messed it up for him, got their own spot, and he's about to lose his. Ryan, everyone, good. Thank you for asking. Hello, Arena. Is that how you spell it? Arena. Hope I said your name right, sweetie. Yeah, but happy Friday again to everybody. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way in. So I hope things work out for him and stuff. But I just was kind of shocked that he said that he hasn't found an apartment yet. And it's the 8th of the month. And I think he has about 30 days. I want to say the first week in September, his lease expires. So I don't know. It says, I'm still praying for you. Happy Friday, Queen Grandma. Yeah, that's crazy. Hello, sweetie. Hey, Peggy. Yeah, so it could be a lot. I don't think that Shamar had to ever deal with housing. He lived with his parents, or his mother at least. Then she passed away, and then, like I said, Kay came into his life, and allegedly she hooked him up with somewhere to stay. And now that is going to be expired, the first week of September. And I don't know, maybe if Shamar humbles herself, sometimes you got to humble yourself so you're not in the street. Maybe she can make arrangements, because it's in her name, talk with the rent office and, get him to be able to renew another lease. SL says, respect goes out to you for understanding Shamar has disabilities when he goes on his rant. Yeah, I do. And I just wish that others, that just goes to show the respect that people who don't understand that he has disabilities and that he goes on rants, and they put the information out there, like, listen to what Shamar saying about SL Davis, not knowing that Shamar does not think or process things like the average individual. So obviously these people that are the messengers putting this information out, they're not processing it like an average person with common sense either. They're not using critical thinking skills. They think it's cute. They look at it as commentary in a bag. You know what I'm saying? So, it's really sad. I don't care who puts out the flip-flopping of Shamar, but at least get up on here and say something, responsible. Where you're playing devil's advocate and you're letting people know that, it's a thing where Shamar is not understanding that these select group of people are trying to help him, not destroy him. But he's so used to people messing him over, he's on guard. I can respect a commentator that puts that at the beginning of the video, because then they're letting everyone know that they understand the situation. And they also understand the pattern of behavior with Shamar, and that he flip-flops. When he thinks somebody's against him, he goes into defense mode, which he has every right to do that. Despite all of what he's been through. Patrick Walker says, who cares if Shamar doesn't find a place to live? He's not successful. Whose fault if he doesn't find a place in time? So Shamar knows it all. Yeah, he thinks he knows it all. You're right, Patrick. Only one he's hurting at the end of the day is himself. Shamar came a long way. People don't want to see him go back homeless. Right, exactly, Toy. That's the nobody, even if you don't like somebody, even if it's like your worst enemy, you definitely still don't want to see them messed up in the game. I don't care who they are, you don't want to wish that, because you got to be careful what you wish on people, because that might just come back on you. Sometimes Shamar is heavily influenced and can't think for himself. Yep. And everyone knows that. Hey, Walter. And everybody knows that. You're right. You are absolutely right. I asked Shamar yesterday to get someone to help him with something that I wasn't able to help him with because I wasn't in front of him. And he did not do what I asked him to do. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe the person that I asked him to get in contact with that is around him or could, come around to help him with something that I'm not going to be there in the flesh to be able to do. Maybe they weren't available. I don't know. But I know that what I asked him to do didn't get done. So it's like I said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit the like button. Thank you. Hit the like button. Shamar haven't put in his 30-day notice. He's not moving anywhere. Hey, Bonita. Shamar, if you're watching in the bushes, take it from me. They just using you. Listen to SL Davis, please. Exactly, Calvin. Ray Charles can see that a lot of people that be in Shamar's circle are just using him. Because, we were talking the other day when Coco was in the chat, how is it you got all these people saying they know you and y'all got history and y'all are friends, but yet, like, for an example, LaShawn's channel is monetized, but he can't help you get yours monetized. So, so you can have a backup plan, at least a plan B, you know what I'm saying, as far as with your income. If your check gets cut off because people are hating on you and saying that you got all this money that you didn't report, he's on probation for driving. Did he go put it on the internet that he was? Yep. 𝗪𝗔𝗧𝗖𝗛, yes, he did. He got his drive on this morning, honey. He even drove himself to the park. Yes, he drove himself to the park, boo. He sure did. I was saying to myself too, is he supposed to be behind the wheel of a car? But the dude allegedly who car it is, he's in jail, so he can't say nothing to him. Do Shamar have a license? That's a good question. I was thinking the same thing, Natanya. I was thinking the same thing. I don't think so. I don't think he does either, but he might. I know someone asked Kay, will she help Shamar? She said no. Oh, wow. Eat them up every time, no did. See, now, because a lot of stuff has been happening a little bit too frequently with my name being in Shamar's mouth, I'm starting to really see, but I'm not going to still change who I am, that I understand Kay's position when she said that, no, she's not going to help him to get recertified or to find somewhere else and finagle the bagel for him so he can get an apartment. Because, you do stuff for Shamar and, he's very easily influenced, or he listens to stuff in the bushes and he gets the wrong, idea of what you're saying to him. He thinks that you're against him, saying something against him. And then he, flips. And, sometimes people don't want to deal with people that flip flop. You do something for somebody and then they want to give you their, to kiss. So says Bonita eating them up every time, no Diddy. I missed it. Yeah, make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit the like button. says with his double heel. Y'all are bad. Shamar is not comprehending. He has a disability that wants to act normal. That's stopping him from getting much more than he's supposed to get. Yeah, you're right, Queen Grandma. I agree with that. I agree with that. Says reporting him isn't hating. What do you mean reporting him isn't hating? I think that it is. I don't think anyone that's reporting Shamar, they're not doing it from the kindness of their heart. They're doing it because they're trying to get back at him. He was so happy. He parked the car perfectly in the lines. Jessica, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everyone that's just now joining the live. Make sure y'all hit that like button and happy Friday. Hope you guys got the weekend off and you're going to be doing something special, over the weekend. Just make sure you're safe. Says all he does is flip flop. He dismisses the ones that try to help him. Yep, all the time, Jessica. Sometimes people got to learn the hard way. You're right, SO. Why is his circle not helping him, especially LaShawn and 50? Right, because they don't care, Diva G. And a lot of them are probably threatened at the thought of knowing that, he could, blow up and prosper. They're probably scared and afraid of that happening. Hey, Big Red, hello. You all have to remember Shamar's not like we the people. He has little slow. You said little slow bless. It's hard. Yeah, little slow. You're right. Happy Friday, Bobby Smith. Yeah, so she's right. Happy Friday. Shamar was in Tommy's bushes last night, and Tommy was just doing a giveaway with the Duvar. Then here comes Shamar out of nowhere lurking. Ryan, ooh, child. Shamar trying to keep himself relevant. What's good, Big Red? Taking my grandson to the movie. Oh, that's good, Jessica Griffin. That is what's up. His play aunt Kiki was trying to help him find a place, but he messed that up. Wow. That's crazy. This ain't no time right now to be messing nothing up. I'm telling you. I promise you it's not. Being homeless is not a condition nobody wants to be in. At all. I don't wish that on my worst enemy to want to be homeless. But like I said, I was trying to explain to him. And he realizes it too, because I keep telling you he was looking for a market rent apartment. And he was telling me last week that he was saying, yeah, it's got to be like 3 times the amount of the rent what you make in order to qualify for housing. So when he said that, I said, yeah, that's market rent housing, but you wouldn't be looking for those kind of housing places. You're looking for subsidy housing. Subsidy housing is for disability, for seniors, for people that are on fixed incomes, like Shamar on SSI, that and more. People that don't income wise, they're under the income bracket. They're like in poverty. The income's like in poverty, and they don't meet the requirements to be considered for market rent. That's when you have to look for subsidy apartment, and those are lists. Even subsidy apartment is even Section 8. That's I'm just saying. I'm just giving you names of different programs that you can sign up for. Section 8, you could be on that list for years. But, you know, you just don't get an apartment on even any of these subsidy apartments just because you're Shamar. So I hope he understands that. But listen, I'm not going to stay on here too long. I just want to come on and update you the latest, which was early this morning, that he confirmed that he has not found an apartment and he's not trying to rush to move into just anything. He's still looking. Talking, like I said, like somebody who is looking for a market rent apartment, which he's never going to qualify for. But listen, I will probably be back on maybe around 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm about to go make me some breakfast, and I will talk to you guys later. Just want to tune in real quick with y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way out, and love y'all. Stay blessed, and I'm out. Bye for now. Mwah.